It is a myth that rape is an inevitable part of conflict.
Angelina, to your left side.
In Hollywood, silence is strategy. But when Angelina Jolie speaks up, that's not gossip. It's a coded siren. According to new whispers rolling through private circles, Angelina Jolie allegedly warned Justin Baldoni not to get involved with Blake Lively. Not professionally, not creatively, not at all. And now, everyone's wondering if he should have listened.
All right, you guys, it is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni Day. Finally, to all of the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard.
A shitty product with atrocious marketing. You have yourself a disastrous brand that will go out of business.
And used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. And we're carefully considering other people that will be sued.
This is about that narrative that I think they instantly started spinning. I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni, all of the...
Because what started as a passion project has exploded into one of the most chaotic, reputation-destroying battles Hollywood has seen in years. We're talking lawsuits, countersuits, public betrayals, leaked documents, blockbuster meltdowns, and at the center of it all, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni, and a film that may never recover. This isn't just a bad breakup between collaborators.
So in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, he accuses Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively of colluding with the New York Times. Do you guys remember what the article was actually entitled that they actually released on 12/21? We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine. Another bombshell, and this time it is pertaining to the New York Times. Amazing that you're not going to believe this, okay? It looks like Justin Baldoni may have a very strong case against the New York Times.
You did not know both of their lawsuits have been consolidated into one legal showdown instead of these two separate lawsuits.
This is a full-on war for control, for image, for narrative. And somehow, Angelina saw it coming. Because according to one source close to the situation, Jolie tried to warn him, but that wasn't even the start. Behind closed doors, the Hollywood elite don't just gossip, they advise, protect, strategize.
Okay, and that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any. Okay, well, she filed a civil rights complaint in Los Angeles, and then within 24 hours, the New York Times had the scoop. They published the complaint in its entirety, and it looked suspicious.
They shared those together. They concocted a complaint that they filed with the Civil Rights Division. They omitted texts that would have provided context.
And in 2022, before filming even started on It Ends With Us, Angelina Jolie allegedly pulled Baldoni aside. The message? Be careful, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have a reputation. And once you're in their orbit, control isn't shared. It's seized. Insiders say Jolie had seen similar stories play out. She's watched projects crumble from inside politics, from stars demanding rewrites.
There's just so much more to the story, and the media's already like self-flagellating. Oh, we were too mean to Blake. And now you see text messages from Blake Lively comparing herself. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
That the publicist was planting stories about him. He's got receipts. His lawyer was just responding publicly to what she initiated. Literally moments ago, Baldoni's attorney
reshoots and rebrands all in the name of vision. She knew what it looked like when actors stopped acting and started directing without the title, and her concerns weren't vague. According to the whispers, Jolie mentioned past behavior, alleged patterns of steamrolling directors, of overriding.
There are text messages that refute every single thing in that complaint.
Scripts of using media relationships to bury any blowback. But Baldoni, he believed in collaboration, he believed in the project. And most of all, he believed in giving Blake a platform to shine. And then it all unraveled. Production hadn't even wrapped when the first rumors surfaced. Blake was allegedly overruling decisions, blocking certain storylines, asking for edits. Mid-scene. And the real bombshell? She allegedly refused to read the source material that millions of fans adored. Crew insiders claim Blake treated the original novel like background noise, that she came in with a different vision and expected everyone to follow it. And when Baldoni pushed back, he was iced out. he reportedly stopped receiving final cut approvals. Producers aligned with Blake allegedly shut him out of key meetings. And then the invitations stopped, including the one to the film's own premiere. The director of the film banned from the premiere. You couldn't make this up. It wasn't long before the legal grenades started flying. December 2024. While most of Hollywood was winding down for award season, Blake Lively was preparing a different kind of performance, one that wouldn't play out on screen, but in court. Without warning, a bombshell lawsuit was filed against Justin Baldoni. The charges: allegations of harassment, boundary violations, a so-called coordinated smear campaign aimed at destroying Blake's credibility in retaliation for speaking up. But this wasn't your average celebrity lawsuit, and Blake didn't walk through the front door. According to legal documents later, made public by Baldoni's camp, the lawsuit was first filed under a vague, nondescript corporate name, one that had never been connected to Lively before, a shell company, one that, by design, wouldn't raise alarms. And before anyone in Baldoni's circle could piece it together, subpoenas were already flying. Internal emails, texts, call logs, drafts of scripts, meeting recordings, even group chat screenshots between producers. Everything was on the table. Everything was demanded. But here's the kicker. Lively never intended to serve him the traditional way. No courtesy heads up, no negotiation, just a legal ambush from the shadows. By the time Baldoni's lawyers figured out who was behind it, the media was already sniffing. Around fed whispers from PR sources asking off-the-record questions. It wasn't about proving guilt. It was about catching him off balance. Legal experts immediately flagged the move as suspicious. What was the point of using a corporate front? Why the secrecy? Why request discovery before even attaching a plaintiff's name? Baldoni's lawyers pounced. In their motion to challenge the tactics, they didn't hold back. They accused Blake's team of weaponizing the discovery process, of abusing the court system to dig through Baldoni's private messages in hopes of finding something, anything, to twist into leverage. They called it what it looked like: a fishing expedition. And not just any kind, a stealth mission executed through legal loopholes, media leaks, and third-party proxies. This wasn't justice, it was war. And Baldoni, he wasn't backing down. His team filed an emergency petition to unmask the shell company and expose the strategy behind the lawsuit. They laid out timelines showing how the subpoenas had been crafted weeks before the complaint was even finalized. They revealed communications allegedly linking Blake's PR firm to early rumors that were already floating around social media. The implication? The lawsuit wasn't the start of the narrative. It was the continuation of a campaign already in motion. And it got uglier. One email, obtained through counter-discovery, allegedly showed Blake's representatives coordinating with an online gossip channel, arranging a timeline of releases to sync up with the legal hit. The subject line? Narrative management strategy. January rollout. Let that sink in. According to Baldoni's team, this was never about resolving a dispute. It was about controlling the public story, making sure Blake looked like a victim and Baldoni looked like a monster before a single court date was even set. And here's what really shook the industry. Lively's lawyers initially fought to keep the shell company's identity sealed. They argued that unmasking it would put their client in harm's way, raising vague allusions to safety and privacy concerns. But when the judge asked for clarity on why a massive civil suit was being funneled through a faceless LLC, the room went silent. Eventually, the corporate veil cracked. The judge ruled that Baldoni had a right to know who was suing him. And when it was confirmed that Blake Lively was behind it all, industry jaws hit the floor. Even veteran litigators called it one of the most calculated lawsuit launches in entertainment history. And the backlash was swift. Insiders who had remained quiet started speaking. Anonymous producers described feeling trapped in the middle of a PR and legal blitz designed to take out Baldoni before his side of the story even aired. One crew member reportedly told Deadline, "We were told not to speak to him, not to like his posts, nothing. She had already decided he was the enemy." But the problem? The receipts told a different story. Not only was Baldoni gathering evidence to refute the claims, he was also documenting how the entire legal rollout had been planned like a Hollywood press tour. PowerPoint decks, pre-approved talking points, crisis consultant memos. This wasn't a lawsuit. It was a media script. And the more Baldoni's team dug, the more they uncovered. One Slack message between Blake's publicity coordinator and a third-party PR agent allegedly included the phrase, "Once we file, we need to control discovery. Fast, before Justin gets his narrative in place." That line would become the centerpiece of Baldoni's countersuit. Because if that's the game she was playing, he was ready to go public. And fast forward to 2025, that's exactly what he did. Because when someone comes at you in the dark, you don't just shine a light. You bring the whole spotlight. And what Justin uncovered next would blow the case wide open. By early 2025, Baldoni had enough. He filed a $400 million countersuit, not just against Blake Lively, but also against her husband Ryan Reynolds and their shared publicist. According to court filings, Baldoni claimed the trio coordinated a media attack designed to ruin him, that they leaked half-truths to tabloids, that they used their powerful PR machine to flip the story. But here's where it got personal. Baldoni didn't just accuse them of defamation, he painted a narrative of sabotage, one where Blake hijacked the movie, one where Reynolds allegedly used his industry clout to lock Baldoni out of future projects, and one where even Taylor Swift was named because she allegedly helped Lively push a damage control narrative online. The case wasn't just messy, it was nuclear. As Discovery moved forward, the story behind the scenes got uglier. Crew members started talking. Some backed Blake, but others painted a different picture. One internal Slack thread, titled "Unsave the Third Act," allegedly showed crew venting about Lively's constant rewrites. They said she scrapped entire scenes last minute, ignored continuity, and demanded close-up reshoots when her wardrobe didn't feel elevated enough. Emails between producers revealed even more. Subject lines like, "How do we keep him out?" and "Blake needs final say" circulated like wildfire. Then came the most damning line, "We'll leak to people first, then push the interview, then let Ryan handle Twitter." That's not damage control. That's a war plan. The ripple effects were instant. Justin Baldoni lost his talent agency, his Voices of Solidarity award, yanked overnight. Blake Lively, suddenly, branded a yellow flag by insurance underwriters. Translation, if you hire her, expect to pay a fortune in liability coverage. Studios ran the math. Is she worth the chaos? Even Reynolds took a hit. Rumors swirled that his next Deadpool spin-off pitch was quietly shelved by a major streamer due to public perception volatility. And when fans started petitioning for Baldoni's original cut of It Ends With Us, over 25,000 signatures in a week, one thing became clear. The narrative wasn't swinging in Blake's favor anymore. In a town where everyone talks, silence is the rarest headline. And when it comes from Angelina Jolie, it's thunder. Throughout the entire Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni explosion, Jolie didn't tweet, didn't repost, didn't blink. But the absence of words from Hollywood's most calculated power player didn't go unnoticed. It screamed. Because Angelina doesn't do chaos. She doesn't insert herself into feuds for fun. And she doesn't pick sides unless there's a war coming. So, when whispers began circulating that she had privately warned Baldoni to tread carefully around Blake and Ryan months before It Ends With Us ever began filming, people leaned in. According to multiple insiders, the alleged warning wasn't vague, it was surgical. Sources say Jolie told Baldoni he was walking into a political minefield, that once you invite Blake Lively into your project, you're not just hiring a lead actress, you're inheriting a brand. One that's obsessively curated. One backed by a machine, one that doesn't yield creative ground easily. And as for Ryan Reynolds, Jolie allegedly cautioned that the couple operates like a closed circuit. Anything that affects one affects the other. If friction arises, expect the other to jump in, publicly, strategically, relentlessly. What's eerie is how much of that warning came true. The public fallout, the behind-the-scenes war, the lawsuit Blake filed, the countersuit that roped Ryan in, the media manipulation accusations, even the PR timeline that looked more like a campaign rollout than a legal defense. Jolie allegedly saw it coming and opted out before the first headline dropped. And now, her silence feels like vindication. Sources close to her team confirmed that multiple outlets reached out to Jolie for comment once the legal battle hit full tilt. Vanity Fair, The Hollywood Reporter, even Vogue. Each outlet wanted the same thing, a quote confirming or denying that she'd warned Baldoni, a statement. On whether she believed Blake's allegations or backed Baldoni's countersuit, she declined. Every time. But here's where it gets really telling. Jolie's production company, Free March Films, was allegedly in early talks with both Lively and Reynolds for upcoming projects back in 2023. Specifically, Lively had reportedly been floated as a potential lead in one of Jolie's female-led international dramas. By mid-2024, her name was quietly off the table. No public announcement, no recasting press release, just gone. Instead, two of Jolie's upcoming films are now fronted by actresses known for being low maintenance, no drama, hyper-collaborative types. The message was subtle, but Hollywood heard it loud and clear. The Jolie brand doesn't do turbulence, and if you're dragging lawsuits and PR crises into every room with you, don't bother knocking. Some insiders even believe Jolie's decision not to comment publicly was its own kind of statement, the kind only legends can afford to make. When Angelina Jolie removes herself from your orbit, that says more than any soundbite ever could. One producer close to her put it this way: "She doesn't need to speak. Her Rolodex speaks for her. If you make things messy, she won't call you twice." And that's what's chilling. Circle. The date: March 9th, 2026. That's when jury selection begins. And according to reports, the courtroom will be packed with cameras, reporters, and legal teams ready to spill everything. If the judge unseals the evidence, texts, photos, call logs, everything becomes public. Streaming networks are already circling for documentary rights, and PR firms across Hollywood are prepping new risk protocols for working with A-listers. One question still lingers: will Blake Lively take the stand, or will she settle to keep the receipts buried? Either way, this isn't just about a film anymore. It's about trust, power, and the cost of control in a town that pretends to play fair. Blake Lively wanted a win. Justin Baldoni wanted peace. Angelina Jolie wanted to protect someone from a storm she'd seen before. Now, no one's walking away clean. This isn't just about a lawsuit. It's a spotlight on what happens when Hollywood's golden image gets scratched, and the people inside start turning on each other. Blake may have the spotlight, Ryan may have the charm, but Justin has something else now: the public watching, receipts stacked, and a reputation that might just survive. One thing's clear: Angelina saw it coming, and Justin, he was warned. But he didn't listen, and what happens next might rewrite the rules for